Hi, this is Bonnie, and I'm super excited about this new project with the pocket letters inserts that Sherri has been making. And I already showed you how I put the inserts inside of the pockets. The next step is I want to embellish them. I don't want to just put them in the pockets. I want to make them a little bit special. So you already saw some of the pictures where I have used the mason jar, and again I cut that out. I want you to know that this paper right here is some of Sherri's digital paper that you can buy and then print off and use for anything you want to use. Her paper that is digital is found at mybestiesshop.com, and I will have that information in the description box below. The other thing is, I already told you about the mason jar borders, and this is a piece that I did cut off I told you about before, and then the small one, and I'm going to be using all those on my pocket letter sheet. The other thing that I did is I went ahead and printed off several of these. This particular one right here, I'm going to be working on that one today. It is going to be a 3D sheet, or actually insert rather. But actually the 3D will be on the outside, and you'll see when I get done what that looks like. I'm going to finish this row off for sure, and I'm also going to be working, on this. Like I told you, this one right here, I printed this off twice, and I've already cut this off. This is going to be a flap. And so I think I'm going to concentrate mostly on this middle row with the idea that I might be able to get to this one too, depending on how long the video is. If not, I'll just make another video with each row instead of each individual one. One other thing you need to know, this is more of the same paper that's from this free digital, oh, I'm sorry, it's not free, from the digital paper that Sherri is selling at her shop. This is also in that same pack, is what I meant to say. It's not free. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And again, copy off this sheet a second time, and you'll be able to use that to embellish your pocket inserts. Let's get started. Okay, so I decided that I am going to be working on the middle one first, and that's this particular insert. And what I did is, like I said, I printed it off twice, and I just cut out this part. As you can see, it would just totally go over the top of that, and I allowed a little bit right here at the top because I'm going to stitch this down with my machine. So I don't want this underneath because I want to be able to write on it. So I went ahead and I traced this particular flap, and I'm going to cut that out just like that is, and adhere that to the top and stitch this down on my machine. And I'll have a little flap to write in there any recipe or anything that I want to for my friends, or if I'm going to keep it myself. So let's get started with that. Okay, so I have that little inside cut out, and I decided to leave a little bit extra when I traced around this. As you can see, I added a little bit extra, and then I punched this. I just happened to use this particular punch that I had, and so that's going to hang up above. It's going to go right on top of here, and I'm going to stitch right through that. I'll go ahead and stitch it down and show you how that works. Okay, so are you ready? I've got the things together to try to get some of these inserts done. And the first one that I did, which is I think I told you about, is I am doing the this insert right here, and I have turned pretty much all of mine into some form of a card. So you can kind of think of these as mini cards also. So this one right here, I just basically put the cover on a piece of paper to make it look like a card, and I've used the SVG border, a piece of it. I have used that for this entire photo letters inserts. You will find that that one cutting out will work for the entire set. Anyway, so this is the card that will be going in this insert here. If I can get it open a minute. Okay. And it'll slide right in there just like that. So then what I did is I decided to go ahead and I'm going to make this top layer 3D. And I know I've showed you how to do 3D before, but I'm going to do this really quickly for you. I've got it all set up. This is going to be my first layer, and the second layer is right here. And all we have to do is take the tape off and put that layer on. This will be our second layer. And she fits right on top. Try to line that up for you. Just like that. And then I also have the little blueberry that goes to the side. See if I get that a little bit closer for you. Okay. And the little blueberry goes to the side, just like I said. The next layer will just be her head. So this is a rather kind of a quickie 3D. I didn't do really major detail for her. And that's her head. And then the last layer will be her bow. And then the fun part for our pocket letter is she is going to be going, whoops, to get that in the right place. Oh, I think I have it upside down. There we go. And she's going to be going right on top of that particular pocket right there. And because you put things to send to your friends, the bulk is not really going to be a big issue. You've already got the bulk involved. And she doesn't really, it's not really that big of a bulk anyway. So she's going to, I have that tucked in where it's going to be. It's all the way to the bottom of the seam. So I know that that's where she needs to go. She's going to set right on top of the one that's already there. Just like that. And it's super cute. So that's one. The next one I told you about that I'd already started was the one with the flap. And all I did was I punched it like I told you, and I wrapped a little bit of baker's twine around it. All you have to do is lift it up and write whatever it is you want to inside, and that one's finished. The next one that I worked on, let me slide this over and put this up a little bit for you. And that is this one. Basically, it just said best friends at the top. I added some letters that I've had, stickers I've had forever, and I just went ahead and used those and put recipe. I thought this would be recipes. I thought this would be a really great one if you wanted to add any recipes from your friends, or if you're, like I said, you're sending this out, it can be recipes that you have collected that you might want to give that were from your friends too. And all I did was I used lined paper. Right now that's really popular, being able to get school started. You have a piece of notebook paper and just cut that to fit behind there. I hole punched it and tied it through with a little bit of it's not really twine, but whatever you call that. I went ahead and tied that together. So that will open up and you'll be able to see things inside. That will tuck inside also really easily, just like that. And then I'm going to decorate, I'm going to decorate the outside. And what I did with that mason jar is I have a hole punch that I've had for a while. It is a heart hole punch. And I punched out a couple glitter hearts, put that at the bottom of that mason jar, and it is going to set right on top of there. That whole row will be finished, if you can see that. So for my next row, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did. First of all, right here on this side, on the right side, is I went ahead and cut this out, and I corner rounded it and set it on one that opens up vertically. And then the next thing I did is I cut out a small piece of gathered lace. As you can see, get that a little bit closer. And I put the double-sided tape on the back. See how quickly I can get these cards together. I'm not really sure to make this video not too long. And it's just going to set right there, right up on top. And it's secured down. And then I went ahead and printed this off. Like I said, everything got printed off at least twice. And I printed this was from the second one. Just cut the top with the berries. Put some foam tape on the back. Just like that. And that's just going to sit right on top. And you have another really, really cute, it's just like I said, just little mini cards, but you can put recipes or whatever it is you want to inside. I'm going to move that to the side so it's not in the way. The next one is this one right here. And it's the one that has a little saying on the top of it. It's already printed. So what I did for this one is I cut out a piece of white cardstock and made it just a little bit larger so it overlapped just a little bit. Took it to my sewing machine. Oh, before I did that, you see this right here? I used my 1-inch punch, and all I did was I punched that before I stitched it together. So it'd make it easy for me to pull this out of it, which is a tag. So now we have a little pocket insert that has also the tag. And the reason that sometimes it doesn't want to go down very well for me is I have a staple behind it and gets stuck on there. So that's the one insert, but I decided, as you saw at the beginning, I wanted to use that mason jar border. So it's just going to go right on top of this, just like that. Now we have our next one all ready to go. The third one in that row, this one was kind of a different one. I don't know how hard this will be for you to do. First of all, before I had adhered this to this card, I hand stitched this button on. You don't really have to hand stitch that button. You can use a glue dot if you want to. Just keep in mind, in order to get it closed, it has to be able to, your closure has to be able to go around your button. So as long as it can do that, you'll be fine. I went with a less expensive route, and I actually used a rubber band. Now I have a piece of double-sided tape over it, but I actually stitched it down with my sewing machine to secure it. So I don't want this bulk underneath the card, and I didn't want to cut it until I showed you what I did. So now I'm just going to snip that off, and then I made a liner for this one, so it would cover that up. And I use, again, double-sided tape just to secure that down. This particular tape does a pretty good job of doing that for me. And I also secured that rubber band down a second time. If you pull too hard of anything, no matter what paper product you use, it's gonna come apart. So it's still not one of those things you can just yank and expect it to stay there. All right. So there's a little bit of bulk right there, but that's still going to hold and secure it. So the purpose behind having that rubber band is for your closure. And it's just going to go around that little button just like that, and you have your little itty bitty pocket for there. The next three that I'm going to be doing, I haven't finished yet, so I'm going to quick get those done and add that to this video. I hope you enjoyed so far. We'll keep going, and I'll show you the next three. Alright, so I have the last row ready to show you. This one right here, all I really did was add 3 buttons to the top, but I also put it on a vertical fold card. So that one's going to be pretty easy for you to do. You've already seen the mason jar that I have done as the extra insert. The very last one, I've noticed a lot of people, because it is pocket letters, they like to include a letter inside of it. Makes sense, but in this case mine's kind of a recipe, so I might have a special little note in there. Unless I'm sending this to somebody, then it might be a special recipe. So anyway, this is just the basic insert. I have a doily die. It's a buckle. It was from Memory Box. I'm not sure if they still make that. And then the next thing I decided to do was to take the same, I should show you this again. I took this same insert and hole punched her out so that she would fit on top of the buckle, because there was no way that I was going to put something through that right now. So I did that, and she fits perfectly over there like a little mini doily. And that's the front. For the back, I cut a piece of ribbon long enough so that I can tie around an envelope. But I decided to do a little bit of a different envelope. This is a doily envelope. Again, I have used a doily die. This is from Nor Joycraft. Be honest with you, I'm not really sure at how wide it is, but let me tell you really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 inches in diameter. So if you have any type of a die that you'd like to use that's 5 inches in diameter, it would work, or any kind of envelope really. It's just I wanted to go with a doily. So anyway, I'm going to unfold it really quickly for you so you can see what I did. I kind of wanted to make sure it would fit in the center, so it was a little bit smaller. So what I did, just to measure, is I put this on top, and I had an idea of where it needed to be folded, and so I folded it in just that way. So first thing is sides go in first, and then both up in the bottom part. I put the double-sided tape I've been telling you about, that's pretty sturdy, on the very back. I'm taking the tape off and I'm going to put it on the very back of this insert so that you can include a letter with this insert. And I'm putting the ribbon, like you can see first, it has actually a glue dot right there. And then this is just going to fit straight over the back of that. Just like that. Now to keep this closed, that's why I put the ribbon on. And I'm just going to tie that. I suppose if you make it really long, you can make it into a bow, whatever you want to do, but I think I'm just going to do a very simple knot back here. If you want a bow, make it a little bit longer. And that is going to be my last insert. And to trim this off, I'm going to go ahead and just go like that. And you have your last insert done. And we are finished completely with our, that's kind of bopping up a little bit, but that's what I said, when you add more stuff to it, you get a little bit of bulk. And everybody's doing that when they get their, when they make their pockets inserts. So just try to slide that in for you really quickly. And the last one, so I can show you what they all look like together. Finished. All right, we'll raise that up a little bit so you can have a look. And that's my finished pocket letters. I'll put it a little bit closer for you also so you can see how that worked. There's my 3D, as you can see. And there you go. It's pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. It's like I said, making 9 mini little cards. I hope you had fun too. And I'm probably going to make some more pocket letters. We've got some new ones coming out, and I think you'd be excited about them. So please subscribe so you can see our videos, and comment and share if you could. All the information will be below in the description box. Thank you again.